Neil here from Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. I got a lot of demand for making some videos on drills that you can do from an indoor range. So let's get going. Now I realize with an indoor range you have to deal with a lot more rules that you typically won't have to deal with on an outdoor range. Especially drawing from a holster, which is the big one that everybody wants to do. And a lot of times that's prohibited. So I'm going to give you some, I'm going to actually go through 8 different drills that you can do that will work in the most strict of rules of ranges. Alright, so here we go. Everybody gets wrapped around the axle about no, I can't draw from a holster deal. It doesn't make any difference. First off, in reality, once we take this gun and we learn to get the proper grip from the beginning, and we learn to present this gun properly and press the trigger, whether that gun goes bang or not is really not important. The important thing was that we pressed the trigger properly, that we had the proper grip, that we found that front sight and focused on it, and that muzzle stayed completely smooth as the gun goes off. Those are the fundamentals. But, of course, we do want to be able to do this with live fire. So, here's the way this works. You can always dry fire practice the entire process, but we go from the holster position to where our hands meet. And where our hands typically meet, you can see this in other videos I put out there, is typically where there's a natural clap. So we go from here to here. So now let's stop for a moment. If we're at a range right now, I don't know of any range in America that doesn't allow you to go from here to come straight out and take your shot. From here and come straight out. So all we need to worry about at home or in dry fire is going from here to where our hands meet. Then once we're on the range, we're just going to complete this exercise from here, coming out. And this is really the most important part of the draw when we're talking about live fire, because this is where we're trying to find that front sight and get on center mass as quickly as possible. So we're here, boom, coming out. We're here, coming out. Finding that front sight as quickly as possible. So we go from where we would normally come from the holster to coming straight out. Okay? So you can certainly still do the draw from the holster technique, even at ranges that don't allow it. So the next one here, mag changes. You can work from a holster, from the mag. I've never heard of a range that won't let you pull a magazine out of a holster, but maybe that's the case. And if it is, that's fine. So put your second magazine on the counter. It works just the same. It would be like simulating if you had to pick it up, or you're in a home scenario where you had to put it together because maybe you keep your stuff separate, or whatever the case is, okay? But here's how this would simply work. You'd already have your gun out, obviously, since you're at the range, okay? Put 2 rounds in there, take your shots, bang, bang, drop your magazine out, grab the new magazine, put it in the gun, power stroke it, and come back out. Same principles apply. You can still do the same magazine change. You don't have to go from holster and out, and most ranges will allow that. So practicing a tap rack bang drill. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our live ammo. We are going to make sure that the chamber is empty and let the slide go home. This way the chamber is empty, and if you have a striker fire, the gun is now cocked. Now we take our loaded magazine and insert it, and we go ahead and take our shot. What's going to happen? Well, it's going to go click, right? So this simulates some type of malfunction. Same thing. I can see that my chamber is closed, so it's not a stovepipe or a double feed. But if it was a stovepipe, same process. I bring it back into my visual spacer that I can see, tap, rack, and then it goes bang. So there you go. That's the tap rack bang at a range. All right, the next one is a dry fire practice round before a live round. So this one, you're gonna get the dry fire round before the gun goes bang. So in this case, same deal. We're gonna let the slide go with no round in the chamber. Take our loaded magazine. Then we're gonna practice all our fundamentals. We're gonna press that trigger. It's gonna go click instead of bang. If it was up to our standard, if we didn't move, we didn't dip, we were still right on target. Then we'll chamber the next round, and bang, we'll make it go with a live round. Okay, so this one is the opposite of that. This is a live round, and then followed by a dry round practice. So in this case, we take our gun, load it, chamber round, take the magazine out and set it on the table. Now this way, we have 1 round in the chamber, okay, and an empty mag. So what will happen is, once we press that shot, which will go live, the gun will cycle like it normally would, and it will not lock back because we don't have the magazine in there. And so then we take our second shot, and it'll be a dry fire practice. So that can kind of mix it up a little bit, and you can certainly tell if you're dipping or not. The next one is the bring your friend to the range and have them randomly load snap caps with live rounds, so that once we insert this and we go to do our shooting, some of the rounds will go off and some of them won't. We won't know when that happens, but that will definitely give us a clear indication whether we're keeping that gun on target and whether we're anticipating the shots or not. And there's a video I have specifically for dry fire practice, which I'll also include in this. All right, so the next one is strong side one-handed, and of course weak side one-handed. Obviously this might be the one area where the range may have an issue with it. Most ranges I've ever been to will let you shoot one-handed as long as you're doing it controlled and you're not trying to pop off a bunch of rounds. But again, practice using that right hand, or your strong hand and your active hand. Pay close attention if you've never done this before. Do this a lot dry fire first. Once you've done that, then you can start doing this with live fire. Make sure you know where this hand is. Biggest area of danger here. Whether you hold your buckle, whether you put it on your chest, whatever the case is, but make sure that you feel that hand on there as you extend out, regardless of what side you're going to, so that we have at no time any chance of that hand ever getting in front of that muzzle. So the next one, if your range allows it, some ranges indoors will let you do a double tap, so you can work on speed where you have a target that's up close and you go bang bang, nice and close, keeping it on target. After that second one comes out, getting right back on it. If that's not the case, that's fine, and again, continue from your compressed position to straight out and take your shot as quickly as possible. But then we also want to mix in each session some precision distance shots and some quick close follow-up shots like that. So then at some point, what I want you to do is take the target and put it out there. Put it out there 10, 15, whatever your capability is. I want you to really stretch this one. Take your time, work the fundamentals. Get out there, focus on that front sight. Pay close attention, taking the slack out of the trigger. Nice and slow press on there. Let that shot go off, stay right back on target, put the trigger again. Practice the fundamentals at distance so that each time you go, you get used to the quick, more realistic self-defense positions, and then working on that marksmanship and pushing yourself for the extension out there. Alrighty guys, there's 8, count them, 8 different drills that you can do at the range. So that should give you plenty of time to start working on that. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. If you haven't already, subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I put out some new videos. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.